There's a whole lot of an issue I could mention as priorities for the next term of the EU Commission and Parliament as animal rights and welfare issues. I could talk about many production animals, cage-free time, about foie gras, about animal transportation, pigs, broilers, and the natural behavioral needs of the production animals. I could talk about pets, companion animals regulation, pet trading, and puppy trading, puppy factories. I could talk about quite a number of issues in animal transportation. But to cover all of these issues, I would like to talk about three things. This is the implementation, this is the animal framework legislation, and this is the roadmap of the total animal welfare legislation and topics in the EU. Because you can't put one animal or species on front of some other species or some problems on priority on some others. All animals, be it companion animals or production animals, deserve the same rights and the same welfare because they are sentient beings. And Lisbon Treaty promises to these sentient beings the protection and active guardianship by the Commission and EU institutions. That's why the first priority is to get animal welfare framework legislation in EU, so that we wouldn't need to regulate animal and by animal species by species all the problems, but there would be this kind of an overarching regulation giving the mandate, competence, and also the requirements for member states to take care of the animal welfare. Secondly, we would need to demand the Commission to have a roadmap of animal welfare legislation review and spotting the existing failures, be it companion animals registration and legislation on here or the cage-free campaigns, so that we would have this kind of an overarching understanding as part of the animal welfare strategy what we are going to do. And thirdly, and no matter less important than the others, is the implementation. Implementation. We need to require more from member states, but certainly we need to require more from the Commission, because Commission is the guardian of the treaties. It is Commission's liability to supervise that all member states follow the EU regulations and EU directives. And this is not the case. And we need to demand that the Commission steps up and takes its duty seriously.